Hi everybody, it's Chef Andrew from Niman Ranch. I'm coming at you from my test kitchen in Los Angeles. This is the second part of a four-part series, getting you all ready for Thanksgiving. Last week we did Brussels sprouts spiked with bacon and onions, cooked kind of like pot stickers. Today we're wrapping dates in bacon and we're stuffing them with blue cheese. Dates are these kind of funny looking little creatures, right? They grow in Turkey and the Mediterranean and also in Southern California. Everything grows in California. So I'm going to teach you how to work with these dates. But first, a couple of words about Niman. Niman Ranch, for those of you that don't know, is a group of family farms, 750. Many of them are multi-generational, and they're throughout the Midwest, the hog farmers are, and they grow animals in a humane and sustainable way, and which results in the best tasting meat in the world, we believe. One of the things that I'm always so excited about with Niman is thinking about the future generation farmers. So Niman's philanthropic foundation is the next generation farmers. We give scholarships to college students and high school students so that they can afford to get education and stay on the family farm. So Niman puts their money where their mouth is, and I'm really so proud to be a part of Niman Ranch. Okay, so let's get into this action here. Dates are, for those of you that haven't had a date, it's super sweet. It's almost like syrup inside, and it's rich. And when you wrap it in bacon, it's salty. It really pleases all of your senses. It's kind of like a culinary joyride. So here you go. You slice it lengthwise, and you open it up, and inside there is a pit. You want to get rid of that pit, right? And you'll see some white stuff. I never worry about that. I'm not really sure what it's called, but I don't worry about it. So for the ease of my presentation here, I've opened a bunch of them. Let's do 6. So cooking during the holidays is my favorite time. As a professional chef, I cook for a living, and so a lot of the time I'm in the kitchen, it's kind of stressful. There's a lot to do, short amount of time. I like the holidays because it gives me a chance to relax in the kitchen. For me, cooking at home is kind of like gardening. I get to get my hands in the meat or the stew or the dough and really enjoy myself. So I've opened these up. And let me talk a little bit about the cheese. You'll see the recipe calls for blue cheese, but I have a blue cheese. I also have goat cheese and brie cheese. The trick is whatever you enjoy and whatever you know your guests will prefer, but it should be soft. And I even have in this homemade pastry bag, which I'll tell you how to make in a second, I have goat cheese with cream cheese and some country French pepper so I can actually pipe it out. Actually, while I'm at it, why don't I tell you? So I just started with a Ziploc bag. Oops, got a little goat cheese on my hands. I just started with a Ziploc bag, and then what I do before I put stuff in it, I just trim off the end. Just a little tiny piece. I mean, you might have a pastry bag at home, but if you don't, this is how you make one. And then you put the cheese in there, and you fold it down like that, and you go like that. And if you need the hole to be bigger, then just trim it after the goodies are in there. Okay, so I'm going to go with the blue cheese since it's what's in the recipe. And I just cut off a piece. Now the end is perfect because it's like the perfect size, right? And don't worry about it being neat and clean. This isn't fancy. This is family, right? And they're going to really appreciate the good ingredients that you've bought and that you're sharing with them. The other reason that I like this as a holiday appetizer is, you know, the trick to having a successful and enjoying your cooking Thanksgiving dinner is to plan ahead and be like super organized. So you can make these, I don't know, 3 or 4 days in advance. It almost doesn't matter how far ahead within reason. And you just put them on a cookie sheet like this, and you wrap them really well with plastic wrap, and then they can live in the fridge for however long you need. Okay, so now you can see that they don't look all that pretty yet, but I'm going to fold them. That looks like a good sandwich. Right, like this. I wish you could smell those because they smell really good. Alright, so I'm just closing these up. Now remember, I'm using blue, but you can use any flavor that you prefer. You can also get fancier than I did, and you can put herbs in there, all different kinds of things. So here's the best bacon in the world. Look at the beautiful fat to lean ratio. Perfect bacon is about 50% fat and 50% lean. And so look at how pretty it is. I'm just going to start with these 3. So I just cut it in half like that, and then I separated it. And then if you don't use it all for your dates, I mean, there's plenty of other things that you can use it for, including sending it to me if you got extra. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to wrap it, wrap and roll, right? And I kind of pull it tight, and I leave it like that. Wrap and roll. Now the dates, the bacon shrinks when it cooks, so don't worry, you'll be able to see the dates really well. I always figure out some nice things to tell people about what I'm making, like where dates from. It's kind of a fun little fact. And how do you know how much to make? So in the catering business, we think about 1.5 pieces per person, usually for appetite or hors d'oeuvres. So if you're having, you know, for the holidays, I might go 2 times just for safety's sake. So if you're having 6 people over, it's 12 dates, 16 dates. Okay, so now I poke them with these sticks. See, you can see the seam there. I always go right in at the seam and all the way through. You can use a regular toothpick. I like these because nobody's going to put this in their mouth, right? They're going to see it. Just want to make sure people know that there are toothpicks in there. So people will eat about 1.5 of these each. They're pretty rich. And then for your crazy uncle who's coming and he's going to eat everything in sight, you might make a couple extra. Alright. I'll just finish these up because we're going to put these in the oven. You can get these in the, you know, at your regular grocery store, Kroger, whatever is your favorite place to shop. Okay. Oh, I want to show you this, how you do this. So you just open this up, and then you just pipe in a little bit. Make sure your hands are clean beforehand, and then you don't have to worry. Always have a towel. The other thing that I do oftentimes is I have a little bowl of water, And it's not to wash your hands, it's just to make it so that things don't stick. By the way, garlic is really sticky, so do this with garlic as well. It'll just help things. Pro tip. Okay, I'm gonna pull these out of the oven now. They're gonna be super hot. Hear the sizzle? So pretty. Now they're meant to be eaten room temperature, really. You can blot them with paper towel if you want. I would leave the stick in. What else can you put in these? Well, you could put fresh herbs in. You could put all different kinds of spices like, you know, chili or paprika, chili powder or paprika if you want. But they kind of speak for themselves. See, you can get the crispy on the bottom. One of the popular hors d'oeuvres at parties is meatballs. So meatballs made with Niman are really good, but these are really delicious. And you know, I wouldn't worry about having them all laid out perfect. Stack them up a little bit. The other thing is you want to make it so that you don't have to refill all the time. So stack it up a little bit. And then I have some fresh thyme. It's not in the recipe, but I have some fresh thyme that I'm going to sprinkle over the top. You could use parsley, you could use basil, almost anything herb-wise. Chives are a great idea. So while we're waiting, in the last minute or so, I have a couple of pro tips. You're going to have friends and family over. They're going to come into the kitchen because the kitchen is the new living room. So have some things in mind because everybody is going to say, oh, can I help? A lot of times they don't really want to help, but they're going to ask anyway. So this is a perfect thing for them to do. Ask them to take the leaves off of thyme. And then, so it's a woody stem. The leaves are going up. See how they're up like this? And then just pull down and strip them off. This will take the most zealous helper a long time, and then she won't even, you know, get it all done. So these recipes and more information about Niman Ranch are available at nimanranch.com or on Instagram. Bacon wrap dates from our family to yours. Have a very happy Thanksgiving and be safe, everybody. Cheers.